TikTok is going to be banned on January 19th unless the Supreme Court intervenes. So what are the platform's influencers who can draw seven-figure salaries from the platform going to do? One agency started uploading their creators' content to rival sites months ago. Joining me to discuss is Daniel Dax, the CEO of Palette Media, which represents more than 200 social media stars. Daniel, it's great to have you here. I genuinely didn't think it was going to come to this, where based on what we heard Friday, it looks like this thing is going dark.
Well, you're certainly not in the minority. It's been such a long conversation over so many years that I think people have become numb to the actual threat that TikTok might go dark. And you, like many of our clients, feel the same way. I think this week things have really started to feel more tangible and real, whereas for a while now we've been advising our clients to prepare for this ahead of time. They're really now starting to see that it really might happen. Yeah, and so just give us a sense. I mean, people were able to pretty quickly, and you got to be consistent. Listen, the posting is exhausting. Every time I've tried, I'm reminded of that. But you can start making considerable money if you really get a following on this platform. How lucrative is it, and are any of the other platforms close? That's right. I mean, being a digital creator is a serious business. Many people are earning very significant levels of income. I think that if you were really to analyze the current entertainment landscape, digital creators really match up to if you were to add musicians and actors and athletes into one bucket. And so, you know, TikTok really created a new arena for many people to enter and gain a following, but these other platforms also provide significant audiences to earn an income. How good? So let's take Instagram, which, look, its algorithm has gotten better. I think a lot of us users would say it's still nowhere close, and maybe they're going to keep working on that. But now I'm afraid they don't have to, because if their biggest rival goes away, what's the incentive? What's the best platform for creators other than TikTok right now? It really depends on the type of creator that you are. Certainly, most creators who came up on TikTok are predominantly short-form creators. Of course, there's some new names that came up through the live streaming experience as well. The short-form creators are predominantly going to go over to YouTube Shorts. They're going to go over to Instagram Reels and to a certain extent to Snapchat as well. But I really see those three platforms being the main players in this next era of the creator economy. And finally, what do you tell? So in terms of how this could actually work, because TikTok as a global app is still going to exist. It's only in the U.S., so it's really going to fragment these audiences. And what does that mean for, for the people who have built these businesses? It's interesting. For certain creators, I think this is going to be an existential threat. I think it might be the end of their careers. For other creators, we're actually seeing some of them consider moving abroad, those with large international audiences. And for many, this is just sort of a hiccup in the long pathway towards their fuller entertainment career. So it's really case by case, but this is certainly going to be the biggest test that we've seen in the last 5 years around digital creators' ability to last. You mentioned that you've been kind of putting people's content on a lot of different sites. Oh, and of course I should mention, Daniel, our friends in common, one of your clients, Costco Mama, I like to call her, Florida Mom of 3 on TikTok, Meg and Maddie on Instagram. Again, they were just our neighbors a few years ago, and now they're absolute stars. So a good example, we've been migrating content over, and there they are. They have a huge following on TikTok. They're starting to get that on Instagram. As you guys have more and more people kind of try out these different platforms, have you found that they're going to be able to kind of transfer this over to other platforms, or no? Well, I'll stop there and say also, not only have they become a huge business unto themselves, there's also an ecosystem built around them, right? Brands that are launching at Costco go to their channel to really figure out how to promote and create sell-through off the shelves. So maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, companies would be thinking about creating a couponing program when they got onto the shelves. Now they're thinking about finding which social media stars can really raise attention to their products in store. But yeah, you're exactly right. They're really focusing on how do they take their existing content, move it over to Instagram, how do they redevelop and fine-tune their skills to understand what audiences on these other platforms are looking for and how their algorithms perform. But it's a lot of fine tweaking for them. I think in the case of Meg and Maddie, they're going to be just fine.